You're listening to Beauty and Beyond Playbook. I'm your host, Mitsy Hernandez. I felt called to making another extra episode that was not on my schedule because I have been bombarded by lots and lots and lots of content around the election, which, of course, makes sense that that's the kind of content that would be going out right now because we just had an election, But what I am seeing is a lot of discourse of disappointment. And if you're new to this platform, I will give a brief summary of my background, where I come from, and then I will dive deep into what it is that I am here to say. Okay. I am 31 years old. I entered the country undocumented when I was 4 years old, and I lived in the country undocumented until I was about 19 or 20 when Obama passed Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, which allowed me to have a social security number, a right to work, and a little bit of protection from deportation. However, there is no clear-cut pathway to citizenship when you are a DACA recipient. We cannot vote. We obviously cannot utilize any form of government assistance, federal assistance, anything like that. Not that I think we should, because I comprehend we are not citizens. But I am just giving you the background. Therefore, I did not vote in this election. Now, why is this important? Because I feel like what I'm going to say may be taken as insensitive, may be taken as pull yourself up by the bootstraps type of rhetoric, which it kind of is, but not in the way that you may think it's going to go or where you think it's going to be headed. So I grew up as an immigrant, obviously, with immigrant parents. We came to this country with nothing at all, no family, no financial stability. We left our home country of Mexico because there was no financial stability in our lives. My parents worked extremely hard to be able to give me the privilege that I currently have, where I have financially stable parents who can help me if I were to crash into a wall. By no means are my parents rich. By no means are they even like a comfortable middle class. I would probably say lower middle, but mind you, we came here with nothing. And because of their hard work, I have been able to give my son a very middle class life on one income. My income from my lash business and now my mentoring business. So here are my thoughts on the election. I am seeing a lot of defeat. I am seeing a lot of what's the point? People don't care about us meaning women, meaning immigrants, minorities, people of color. I am seeing all of that. And while I will never tell you that your thinking is flawed, wrong, or bad, because they are your feelings, they are your lived experiences, I am going to ask you to instead focus on reaching your financial goals. We live in a country where money opens up doors. Money buys you certain liberties, certain freedoms, and certain luxuries that when you don't have that, your life is not as pleasant. Again, by no means am I saying that is okay, that you don't have opportunities readily available for you. But what I am saying is that when you allow feelings of sadness, feeling defeated, feeling like you don't matter, feeling like your country doesn't care about you, feeling like what's the point, it can deter you from your highest goals, which is usually for most of us, or at least the people that I work with, meaning the people that I mentor, is financial stability. Ideally, all of us want financial freedom, but for fucking sure, stability is the number one goal. It does you no good to get wrapped up in ways that deter you from financial stability. Will politics affect you? Of course, I am an immigrant. When Trump first got into office in 2016, he stopped the program DACA that I am under. And ever since then, the program has been shaky, going from court system to court system to court system. That means that my legal status, my protection is constantly under scrutiny. However, I cannot allow that to deter me from my goals. I have to push forward. I have to keep going. Because being scared, being fearful, being angry, none of those things are going to help me, my child, my nephew, and my family, which ultimately I want stability first and foremost for me and my child, then my nephew, and then the rest of my family. Now, fear and anger, specifically fear, is an emotion that will grip you and take you places you may not even want to go. It is very important for you to grab a handle on that emotion, because fear will make you small. Fear will make you make decisions that are not even reasonable or logical. Fear will make you choose paths that are not for your highest good. Fear will make you never achieve your dreams and goals. Fear will have you living in a very uncomfortable life. Fear is an emotion. Fear is not real, meaning what you're afraid of, there is no guarantee that will come to fruition. My biggest fear is losing my status, DACA. Ideally, of course, I would love to be a resident and then eventually a citizen. But if that's not where we're headed politically, losing my protection under DACA is not a fear I take lightly. However, I cannot wake up every day with that in mind. I have to wake up every day with the big picture in mind, which is financial stability and eventually freedom. And when I allow the fear of what's going to happen to me, what's this, what's that, people don't like me, people don't care about me, people want me out of their country, it will stagnate my growth. It will do me, my family, more harm than good. Because that's exactly what fear is. Fear is simply thoughts. Sometimes that fear that you have does come true. By no means will I ever say to you, oh, your fear is 100% fake and you should never, ever, ever adhere to it because it's just your brain making silly little storylines that will never happen. Of course not. Sometimes what you fear comes true. But a lot of the times what you fear never, ever comes true. Right? I was listening to a podcast and they said, out of all the things you worry about, less than 30% of it will come true. If you are a fearful, anxious person, of course, what you hear is, oh my God, what 30% will come true? But what I hear is worrying and letting the emotion of fear take over is useless. It will not get me closer to my goals. It will not solve my problems. It will keep me frozen. It will keep me small. It will keep me scared. Now, let's talk about the importance of having money in this country. This goes beyond just not being worried about bills. Like I stated, it opens up doors. It allows you to network with people that will then open up more doors for you. So as a woman, specifically a minority, specifically an undocumented woman, specifically a woman who has no say in how this country is ran simply because I cannot vote, the one thing that will give me some sense of freedom or control or anything over my life is money. Yes, money will not buy you happiness. It never will. It cannot. It just does not work that way. But what it will buy me is the ability to go to therapy and regulate my emotions and learn skills. The ability to hire a business coach to teach me how to make more money. The ability to live in a safe environment for my son and I. The ability to be accepted in certain groups that my skin color and my immigration status normally would not be accepted in. Is that wonderful? Is it great that if I was just a regular girl off the street, they would maybe turn their nose up at me, maybe not allow me in those rooms? Fuck no, it's not. We all know it's not. I'm never saying that it is. But what I am saying is that I have big goals. And what I do know is money opens up doors and possibilities. Not just for me, but for my son, for my nephew, for my sister, for my parents. And it is silly to me that I would allow fear of what may happen to stop me from getting there. And I hope that you do not do the same. We are all afraid of different things. Fear is such a strong hook that it overrides every sense of logic you may have. That is why when you try to reason with someone, whether it's the blue or the red, sometimes when there is fear, it will go in one ear and out the other, and it turns into just shouting matches because no one is using logical sense in this point. Fear is a strong emotion. Catch yourself when you feel it in your body. Catch yourself when you begin to think thoughts that align with constant fear. Catch yourself when you think, I shouldn't show up. Catch yourself when you think, what's the point? Catch yourself when you say, I should give up, because all of that is just a byproduct of fear. And like I told my son the other day, we all feel fear, every single human. But are you going to let it stop you, make you small and not reach your goals? Or are you going to rise to the occasion, push through, and realize that a lot of those fears that you had weren't even real? There is nothing more important than as a woman to be financially stable and specifically independent, to rely on nobody but yourself to give you the lifestyle that you want. And if you really want to be a rebel, if you really want to say, fuck the other side, if you really feel some kind of way, go get financial independence and financial stability. Because then that's when doors open up for you. And I don't mean doors as in you're going to go hang with certain people. I mean doors and buildings that you would never be in, where you can go and make a change, where you can go and explain and stand up and speak for people that otherwise would not be in those rooms. There is nothing more rebellious in a patriarchal society than a woman who doesn't need a man, a woman who doesn't need anyone, a woman who is confident, a woman who trusts herself, a woman who is financially independent and stable. Do it for the women in your family looking at you, whether they're older or younger. Do it for yourself. Do it for baby you. Do it for the little girl growing up who needed to see someone like you doing it. And even more, if you are a minority, be that beacon of hope and light that you needed to see when you were growing up, to let you believe, to let you push past fear, to know that you control your life. Of course, there's always going to be laws and politics and shit in place. Of course, I am not negligent or ignorant to it. Those laws and politics affect my life directly. But I cannot and will not and refuse to allow those things to keep me small and from reaching my fucking goals. And I hope that everything that you heard today encourages you to do the same fucking thing. I used to tell this to one of my mentees. By being the only woman in your family who owns a business, who is financially independent, you change lives in your community and in turn in the fucking world. Do not let any hate, any fear, anything you're seeing in the media, anything you're seeing on social media, anything your thoughts are saying, keep you from being that. You show up and you be that woman that you wanted to look up to. You be that woman that if your younger self could meet, would be so fucking proud of. You can do it. That is all I have for today. Until then, you will hear from me in the next podcast.